Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we are going to be taking a look at the double burner Mr. Volcano gas forge that you can find over on Amazon. I will put some affiliate links to that down in the description down below. I have not purchased this unit, nor am I getting paid to make a review on this unit here. This is actually a good friend of mine, Thomas Goodymoot. You guys know and love him as the hand model here on the channel. And so he ended up buying one in for himself, and he said, hey, do you want to make a review about it and unboxing all that good stuff? And I said, sure, you betcha. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Obviously, this isn't the box that it came in. He bought a bunch of other stuff, some extra fire bricks, some braided stainless steel hose and regulator and everything else. And it came in like a big Amazon box. Well, that since got wet in my shop, waiting on me to do this review, and it kind of fell apart. So this is the box that the item actually is coming in. Now, how it gets shipped to you, I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and get this open real quick. And we're going to see what type of materials and everything that this little gas forge comes with. Again, if you want to find out more about pricing and all that other good stuff, that'll all be through the links down in the description down below. You can go read up on it and all its specs and everything else. I already have the one single burner gas forge, and in some upcoming videos we will be testing this thing out and comparing it to that. So I'm actually looking at the bottom of this forge right now, so I'm going to set this down, pull this right off the top. Woo! It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Get that box out of the way. So we have our rigidizer concentrate. We've got that in the box. We've got some great instructions. I'm sure that these instructions will be about the same as the single burner model gas forge, but I'll read through those more thoroughly. We have our hose kit that's set up with our little Y fitting and a regulator and all that good stuff. I will be looking up some options for a stainless steel braided version of this, and when I can find it, if you check back here maybe a couple months, maybe watch on the video or whatever, it should be linked up in future videos around this in the description. And I will also backlink it on this video as well. So go ahead and set that off to the side. Obviously, we've got our two burners that come in with it, all made from stainless steel, and then the brass ball valves. A couple people have mentioned online in different forums and stuff that they have found leaks in these right off the bat. So be sure to soap bubble everything. If there's a leak in it, just give it a tighten up or add a little bit more Teflon tape to it, and it'll be just fine. And then we have the main unit here with what looks like all the extra stuff in here. We actually got collars. What's this stuff here? Okay, so this is a bag of our Satanite refractory coating. So we got some Satanite refractory here, 8 ounces, another 8 ounces, and yet another 8 ounces. So whatever that is, 8, 8, 16, plus 8 more. Yeah, 24. I think that's right. Yeah, 24 ounces or so. These are the air chokes that go on the burners. They come out separate. And yeah, we'll keep pulling this stuff out. Pull this thing out of the bag now. All right, so looking pretty good. There's more stuff in here. As we can see, they got their Mr. Volcano logo right on the front here. And then on the opposite side, near the burner, they actually have both their logo and a disclaimer etched into this piece. And now this is something that I've seen fairly common out there amongst beginner forums, blacksmithing forums. You think it would go without stating a reason, but you know, if you don't know, you don't know. But it says, you must remove the unused burner if operating the forge with one burner. Failure to do so will, underlined, result in heat making its way up the unused burner and melting the hose connection. So they had to put that big disclaimer on there because people were trying to shut off one burner and just run off of one singular burner, and it chimneyed up the unused burner. That's basically what it is. It's a chimneying effect. Let's see here. We've got another bag. Again, another 8 ounces. So now we're up to 32 ounces of Satanite refractory coating. Pull this out. Whoo-wee! There's a bunch in here. I'm going to stop doing math for camera. Another 8 ounces bag of Satanite refractory coating, and yet another 8 ounce bag of Satanite refractory coating. I'm done. You could do the math on that. Somebody help me out in the comment section. We also got our K-wool, or our insulated, our ceramic wool lining. That's all sealed up in a nice bag for us. We have 1 fire brick, and we have 2 fire bricks, and we have 2 more sacks of Satanite 8 ounce refractory coating. So that is a lot of refractory coating in little 8 ounce bits, little pieces and bags there. But yeah, other than that, that's all hollowed out now. So now we have our stainless steel body and everything we need to take and put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the process of putting all of this together. We'll go ahead and do a quick time lapse of getting all this put together, and then I'll go over what I think about the build on it after that. Okie doke, folks. So there you have it. Here is the Mr. Volcano all put together, and I've did all of the refractory on this, and this is about 4 or 5 days later of waiting for this thing to dry and fully cure. Now, putting this whole thing together using everything down to the letter, they recommend that you weigh things out when you're measuring out your proportions of your water and your Satanite, your refractory coating there. And with everything that I followed, it still had a lot of cracking going on as it dried out, even though it took so long. So I'm not sure if that's just my particular climate that we're in. We weren't really super hot and we're not very cold. We've had some moist days and some, dry days in that time period of this curing. I could have put something on maybe a little too thick, maybe a little too thin. I'm not quite sure what's went on there, but I'm just relaying my experience with that. So this thing all put together, it's a fairly easy build experience, but it does require some patience, especially when it comes down to the refractory, putting in the refractory coating. I do recommend that you have a scale on hand, so this way you can measure and weigh out all your proportions through, have some little buckets that you can weigh everything out into and mix everything up appropriately. I went over some of that in my previous video. I will link that up down in the description down below on the single burner Mr. Volcano gas forge. So last thing I want to talk about with this real quick, and this is just my overview, and I'll leave you with some of my final thoughts about the build. And be sure to watch this in the future. I plan on doing a lot more videos on this and comparing it with the single burner. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and set the bell for notifications. So they did, like I've said, they gave an extra 8 ounces of refractory, as a patching thing that you can use to patch up stuff in the future if needed. So that is nice that that is there, and most likely you will need to use that extra little bit there. But I want to go over one thing that has changed between the single burner, when I purchased the single burner gas forge from them, and this new double burner. They have a kind of a different pink sheet on this. Of course, it still has the same things on the back side about, you know, all of its hazardous things and how to set your burner height and stuff like that. But on the front side, they've got this one, you know, I'll read through it here. They have this one new addition, what says good news, and it jumps off right off the sheet for you. So let me read that through real quick. If you don't want to listen to this part, you just want to skip, you can, but I'll try to read this as fast as humanly possible. So it says, good news. This forge comes with super wool extra. That's all underlined and bolden. Insulation, exclamation point. The insulation is a major generational leap in the ceramic blanket insulation world. This technology is the first of its kind. It emits zero, and that's big capitalized letters with an underline, crystalline silica, period. And on top of that, it's low biopersistent. Again, this is all bold. This is all boldened out on the actual sheet itself. They're trying to make emphasis about this, that it emits no silica, crystalline, you know, it doesn't, the fibers, you're not getting those off the fiber blanket, and it's supposed to be low biopersistent, so it stays in your lung less time, so to speak. So they go on in small print here to say, for decades, the biggest issue with ceramic insulation, and again, this is all their words, not mine, was that it released respirable crystalline silica after it's heated above 1800 degrees Fahrenheit when forging. We know that we consistently hit temperatures well above that. The second biggest issue with traditional ceramic insulation is that it's not low biopersistent. That, and then it's in quotes here, that means if breathed in, it stays in your body for a long period of time, which could cause health issues. To solve this, in the past, we included a ceramic blanket rigidizer to seal the fibers in, then a satinite refractory layer to offer an extra protection to make sure the fibers don't come out. That worked well, but it was still somewhat cumbersome, which I can agree with. It's very cumbersome to have to do the satinite refractory coating on this thing. Let's see here. That worked well, but it was still somewhat cumbersome. No solutions existed in the forge industry. Not sure that's a real true statement, but it says, we believe we solved all of these problems with the super wool extra insulation, and that whole statement was underlined. Working with Morgan Ceramics, in late 2021, a new generation of ceramic became available to the world. We are the first forge manufacturer in the world, that segment was underlined, to include this type of technology. It is much more expensive, but well worth the performance. So you go on to say, Super Wool Extra by Morgan Ceramics is both low biopersistent and doesn't emit any crystalline silica. That means you do not need the ceramic rigidizer or the satinite refractory anymore to safely use this forge. We still do include rigidizer and satinite refractory in this kit to consumers who still want to cover the interior with a rock hard surface that they're used to. So I want to take a moment and speak about this specifically. I do not know who Mr. Volcano is. I don't know the owners of Mr. Volcano. I don't know, I'm not paid by them. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. We are giving away a bunch of these, the single burner Mr. Volcano gas forges this year for free giveaway items. And that's the only connection that I've got there, is I'm buying their forges to give away during my monthly live streams. So let me say this about this, as long with any new product, and especially for you new people, if you're considering purchasing this forge for yourself, be a little wiser than good news. So I would still coat it. Even if you get something at a later date or another forge manufacturer that says, yeah, we're using this super wool stuff too, and it's oh so great and everything, I would still cover your own tail and make sure that you are, doing the tried and true methods to keep yourself safe and healthy long term. Ultimately, you can't tell whether Mr. Volcano will be there in 30 years when you've got lung cancer because you've got crystalline whatever in your breath, right? They won't be there for you then, right? You won't be able to come back on them with that. So I don't know if they will or they won't. I wish the company the best for sure. I think it's a great little kit, but these are some pretty big claims, and just coming from a business perspective, I personally wouldn't be putting claims like this on a sheet, as they are not a yeah, anytime you make claims like this, it becomes illegal. It can become a very big legal issue and headache for you and heartache. Now, they try to sell this fact that they're using this super wool extra insulation. I don't have any problem with that. I am concerned, however, when a company goes through much effort to take and talk about zero crystalline silica gets out, so zero ceramic fibers gets out into the air, and on top of that, it's low biopersistent, so even if you did breathe it, it doesn't stay in your lungs very long. They haven't been around long enough, in my opinion, to make those kind of claims. And if this is brand new, as of 2021, I'm doing this video right now in 2022, mid 2022. This hasn't been around long enough to trust those claims. So it is my suggestion to you that you use all the Satanite refractory coating that comes in the kit, and that you use all of the rigidizer for the K-wool. It does not take that much more. I mean, it takes a bunch more time, but what's more time versus your lung health? So that's all I really want to go in on that. Like I said, if you pick up one of these forges, you can read all their facts and infos and warning sheets and all that other good stuff. I'm still a big fan, a super fan of their factoid sheet here with their troubleshooting, with, all their operating instructions and things that, can and will go wrong, and how to fix and do this and that, what have you. I think that's very helpful, especially to beginners getting in the space for gas forges. You seasoned pros out there, you don't need to know all this. You can just set that off to the side, but it is nice and laminated and well done on that. So overall, what do I think about this? I think it's a very fun build. I enjoy building these. I've built gas forges from the ground up, from scratch, including all the burners and stuff before. This is a fairly quick way of getting right into forging with a gas forge, and be pretty be pretty economical at the same point in time. With that being said, there's always somebody who'll say, oh, I could make that gas forge in some group or wherever you look online. There's always going to be somebody who says that they could produce this unit cheaper. And my suggestion to that person, if you're getting that kind of advice, prove it. Start putting your stuff out there, produce it for cheaper. That way people can buy your cheaply made product. Most likely that's not the case. This is the cheapest forge I have found with decent quality. Again, it has a stainless steel outer jacket. It is a thinner metal, but that's okay. They have to have some cost breaks there somewhere. I like the stainless steel burners. Those are super high quality and pretty darn efficient, especially with that other one. We will do more testing, real world testing with this in another video. The last thing I want to talk about on this is the gas hoses. I will need to find, I'll want to find some braided gas hose option for this. I'm not a big fan of just a plastic, this kind of plasticky rubber gas hose here. It's just not as robust as having a braided stainless steel hose here. Again, that's a bit pricey. It's a little higher cost to do that, but I'd be willing to do that on a kit like this. I don't know what Thomas will do. as this is his forge and he bought it. But that's one thing I recommend upgrading along with this regulator. Now the regulator is just a 30 PSIG regulator, and you know, it comes standard, but you don't have any gas gauge, so you can tell what pressure you are running at. So you just have to tune everything by eye and sound on these little gas forges, and that can be a bit of a drawback. Last but not least, and then I'll let you all go, and thank you all so much for watching this video, by the way. The fire bricks are a little too long for the fire box. I would personally have liked to seen, if with this being a 2-burner gas forge, for it to be roughly double what a single burner one of their gas forges would be, and to have these burners spaced a little further apart. It would give just that much more, maybe like 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches more of burner box space, and still be a really solid gas forge. Like I said, the bricks here, the 2 bricks that come with it, they are sticking out the ends. You know, they're not fully supported on the ends. It would be nice if those were just in. And I mean, they're hanging out by 1 inch on each side. So if this forge was just 2 inches longer, all of that would just fit so much nicer. Now, did they do that because they needed to ship this thing in a specific size box? That might be the case, and in which case, again, you have to balance those costs as a company. So I can't really fault them on that. If it's too big of a deal, cut one of your bricks down. It's not a big deal. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you do want to go pick yourself up one of these, there are some affiliated links down in the description down below. Those are Amazon affiliate links. So if you go over there, I get a little kickback for sending traffic to Amazon at no additional cost to you. It's a great way of supporting the channel. So if you're in the market for one of these, you can go check it out through the links down below. And if not, that's okay too. Thank you all to all the channel members. Thank you for watching this video. God bless each and every last one of you, and we will catch you on the next one.